you think it's 2019 again? India, New Zealand, Old Trafford, all those memories coming back?
No, none of those memories are coming back simply because of how dominant this Indian team has been. And I think yesterday's match, in the way that India beat Netherlands by 160 odd runs, you realize how incredible this team has been. From the very first match, Sandeep, which India won against Australia, they were down 3-2. And from there, they came back and won that game convincingly. The way they beat South Africa, where they scored 300 plus runs, and then restricted or got South Africa out for a paltry 83 runs. The way they got Sri Lanka out of the tournament. So what I'm sensing this time, and I think everybody is feeling that they're handling the pressure well. They are also a very well-balanced side. They know the conditions here at home, and they're using it to the best of their abilities. And to think that their top batters are in form, their bowlers have been looking good. It's
It's too good to be true, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when is the last time India was on a roll like this? 8 matches in a row?
I haven't seen it. I remember 2011 World Cup that India ended up winning, but there were matches which were close. There was a tied match, I remember, against England. But this kind of dominance, I haven't seen. A lot of people would want to compare this to the Australia of 2003, 2007, when they won back-to-back 3 World Cups. Of course, this is one World Cup. But yes, I would compare it in the way that they dominated in that 2003 World Cup. Similarly, I would think that this team is dominating here in 2023. So yeah, it's very difficult to stop them. I would think the only way New Zealand can have a chance at the Wankhede Stadium is that if they win the toss and they choose to bat first. Because I was looking at the numbers and it's a clear advantage for the team batting first at the Wankhede Stadium. So if you're batting first, your average score is 350 plus. And if you're batting second, that average score comes down to 180. So under the lights, we've seen a lot of movement. Those 20 overs in the lights in the second innings gets very difficult. We saw what happened when India played there. We saw what happened when Glenn Maxwell, of course, he played a wonderful innings, and Australia won that match against Afghanistan. But that's like once in a lifetime innings. So you need to play something like that for a team to win their batting second. So I would think that is a bit of a problem. If you're batting second, and if you've allowed New Zealand to get to 300 kind of a total batting first, things might get slightly difficult for India. But otherwise, this team is on a roll. Yeah, they're on an absolute
But
roll.
who are the Kiwi players to watch out for at the Wankhede?
Rachin Ravindra, I mean, one player that he's lit up this World Cup. To think that he's 23 years old and he's already among the top run scorers. Fantastic to see.
He's one of the big discoveries of this World Cup.
Absolutely. And then, his parents come from, his father is from Bengaluru, and they shifted to New Zealand. So it's nice to watch him. The way he's been batting. Devon Conway started well but has been a disappointment since then, so New Zealand would want him to come good. He's a big match player, so they'd like him to do well. Then it's nice to see Kane Williamson back. He's scoring runs. So yeah, a lot of these players to watch out for. But yes, Rachin Ravindra is one. I would think he'd continue that form in Wankhede as well.
What's your dream 11 for this match for India?
For India?
Yeah.
As in, I think the playing
composition
11.
Of the playing 11.
Yeah, I think the playing 11 is the same playing 11. They've not made any changes, and I don't think I'll look at, I don't think that they'll look to make any changes. They're very clear, Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid, on their core team, and they're very clear that they do not want to. They did not rotate any players. We thought that maybe in the match against Netherlands that they'd like to rotate some players, give rest to some of the players who've been playing throughout. But I think they were very clear that we want to win this with a bang. We also want to carry that winning momentum into the semi-finals. So I don't see any changes.
They won't tinker with this winning combination.
Playing 11, no, I don't see that happening at all.
And assuming that India's on a roll and just barrels through this game with the New Zealand team, who are we facing in Ahmedabad? Is it going to be South Africa or is it going to be Australia?
I would say that India would, I don't want to sound defeatist, but I would say that India would want to face South Africa clearly because, Australia is one team, you can never write them off in World Cups. You see the way they started this World Cup, right? They lost matches after matches and then they came back, bounced back in style, and just when they needed to be peaking is when they started peaking. So Australia is one of those teams, you never write them off. They always are up for a fight. So I would think that given Australia's history in World Cups and South Africa's history of choking at World Cups, India would prefer to have South Africa. But between South Africa and Australia, in the second semi-final, clearly Australia are the favourites.
And what happens in the very unlikely event of India not making it to the finals? Do you think that the match in Ahmedabad suddenly loses all interest?
I mean, I would think so. It's a big match, but then I don't see it happening, Sandeep. For once, there's a show I did the other day where, because India was on this roll and they were winning everything, and I did a show, what has India lost in this World Cup? And that was the thumbnail for the show. And clearly, the only thing India have lost in this World Cup are the naysayers, the non-believers, the ones who thought, nahi, jeet nahi payenge. That has gone, because I feel like the biggest of cynics today, if you ask them, put your hand on your heart and say, do you think India can lose from here? And they'd say no. So given how well this team has been performing, I do think that they'll make it to the finals. And I'm hoping that happens because there are a billion people who want that match to happen, at the final on November 19th in Ahmedabad. So yes, so not even thinking of a non-India final.
And you're not yet ready to make that. It's coming home?
Well, I don't know. I hope we've not put the mockers, like I was saying before the show, I hope we've not put the mockers on them by saying it's coming home. I'm not going to jinx it.
News 9 Plus. Download now.